Hi everybody, a really warm welcome to my channel, Nelly the Narcissist, and today I'm going to be talking about the 3 golden rules and things to always remember when you're dealing with narcissists. And here I basically want to help you to keep armored and weaponed for any time that you need to have any kind of interaction with a narcissist for any reason. Because sometimes you can't always avoid it, and when you know who the narcissist really is, and you've seen behind their mask, and you've seen the real character that resides in their being, and you know who's behind the steering wheel, the shock of that, plus the dissonance that it creates, and the trauma bond itself, it can work together to keep you entrapped inside the fantasy. Because let's be real, the false version of the narcissist is much nicer than the reality, especially if you love them and you want to focus on the good, even if that was just an illusion. So there are times that we can put ourselves in danger by forgetting who we're dealing with, because remember, they can do a really good job switching and presenting as somebody that they are not, and then you can drop your guard, and it only takes a split second of you snoozing for you to be in big trouble again, and for you to be a victim of their manipulation. So I'm making this video to help you to keep on guard and stay vigilant when you're around any kind of narcissist. And just before I get into it, if you're new, then welcome to the channel. Here I cover both the psychological and spiritual dimensions of narcissistic personality disorder, and I focus a lot on the healing principles for survivors of narcissistic abuse. And not only do I do these podcasts, but I'm a creator of comedy skits that show what it's really like in relationships with narcissists. So if you haven't seen my skits yet, I have a playlist. I'm going to link it down below in the description box. And if you appreciate this video and you want to help me to get the message out to more people that might need it, please do like the video, share it, and comment your thoughts down below. So the 3 things to always remember when dealing with narcissists. I don't know if any of you have seen that film Gremlins, but this was inspired by the 3 golden rules that they were given when they took Gizmo home. And of course, they didn't follow those rules, and it was an absolute disaster. And obviously, there wouldn't have been a film if they had followed the rules. So it got me to thinking about 3 golden rules when dealing with narcissists or psychopathic narcissists. It really doesn't matter. Narcissists in general. So the very first golden rule that is so important whenever the narcissist is standing in front of you or you're having any kind of contact, you need to remember at all times that this isn't a person as you know people. Your eyes are going to want to deceive you because in front of you is a human being, but it's a deception, it's a trick of the light, because the narcissist only appears in human form. They're going to pretend to be like everybody else, but they know that they're lying and tricking people. This is more creature than human, and I know that sounds incredibly inhumane to say such a thing, but it's true. Let's not deny that fact. If you're coming from a purely psychological standpoint, you could say that their brains aren't wired like you and I in the same way a human being should be wired. Evil certainly has a specific wiring, but if you want to go a bit further into a spiritual level, how is it that so many survivors in every culture on every continent of the world all come back to report the same terrifying encounter with a dark and brooding entity? It's my belief that there's something more going on than just brain wiring having a short circuit. You know, whatever you believe, it's your choice. It doesn't change the fact that this is a dangerous individual, whatever they've got going on. You know, you and I need to protect ourselves against it. And because when we don't know their level of deviousness and how low and how dark they're prepared to go, then we're really vulnerable to their attack. And they know what they are, by the way. Don't think that they don't. They know that they're not like you, and they think that they're really clever because they know when you don't know about them, and they know that they have an unfair advantage. They think that they're way ahead of you and everybody else, and of course they are until you know. And then once you know what they are, it's important that you never forget it. So what that means is always keeping your guard up. You can't afford to let it down, and because you're not like them and you're a human, you got love, you got empathy. It's the human heart that could soften you, particularly if they're going to appear vulnerable and helpless, which is something covert narcissists love to do. Because, you know, it reels people into serving them and supplying them with their narcissistic needs. The narcissist isn't human. There's no reflection of a person. It's a hologram, a perfected and programmed hologram that knows how to work people. You must keep in your mind at all times what you're looking at is not real. What you're hearing is not real. It's all a deception that is intended to get you hook, line, and sinker. Playing on your heart and your emotions, it works. And this is the problem. You've got a heart and they don't. And they're going to appear to have a heart when it serves them to have a heart. But the reality to remember is that they really don't. And remember, like I said, it's not a human as you know it. It's much more of a shape-shifting creature that will change and do all that they can possible to survive. There's nothing that this creature will not do. There's no limit. So we have to be prepared for that, because, they're going to throw curveballs. They will also go very low, lower than you ever think is possible. They don't care, because they're really heartless. There is no love or empathy that's within them. There's only coldness and viciousness. This is a dangerous being. And so this means that every time that you deal with them, you have got to armor up when you step inside their arena. Put on your armor. Don't let them find any chink in it, because they're going to look for any opportunity to snake their way into manipulating you. The absolute only thing that's ever helped me with dealing with dangerous narcissists and narcopaths that I know are not human on any level internally, but they try to work me and everybody else through our shared humanity, is to keep in mind that this, like I said, is a creature. It's a viper, and it's going to strike if you fall asleep or you take your eyes off of it. And it doesn't need a full minute. Like I said, just needs a second. It's only a second of you forgetting who they are for them to get into you again. So you need to keep ahead of them at all times. And in doing so, you have to keep planted in the forefront of your mind, this is a dangerous viper. And it's not going to hesitate to do you serious harm. No matter how sweet or charming or helpless they appear, remember the truth. It's a creature that wants to do you harm. And this point can't be stressed enough. Do as Sam Vaknin says, harden your heart. I know it's tough. I know for a person that's full of love, you feel like you're being mean or unkind, but in this situation, you're not. This is for your survival necessity. You must remember this rule. It is so important. Golden rule number 2, anything that they say that comes out of their mouth is designed to manipulate, control, and make themselves appear as good, virtuous people that are just doing their best given their circumstances. Now, the whole performance is perfected to elicit specific responses from you, and they have aims and they have goals. This isn't a person that engages in idle chit-chat or meaningless connections. They don't care to connect with anybody, and so in their eyes, people are just opportunities to be taken advantage of, and they're looking all of the time in the ways which others can benefit them. In their sick minds, they're always figuring out what's the best performance, what's the script. And you can think that you're just going to go for casual breakfast with them, or you're going to go for a coffee, but there is no just in their minds. Everything's an opportunity for manipulation so they can attain their goals, whatever that is, because their goals are always changing. And remember, they never ever switch off that brain of theirs that operates solely on that level. Remember that saying, there's no rest for the wicked. That's true. Even a simple trip to the store, to the beach, is never a simple outing, because the narcissist is always trying to figure out how to work things in their favor, how to manipulate. They are never not manipulating somebody unless they've collapsed due to insufficient narcissistic supply and a lack of fuel. So when you talk to a narcissist, keep in your mind at all times, anything that they say to you is designed for a purpose, to elicit an emotional response or an idea. They will always be trying to lead you into a direction, and it can seem like it's totally spontaneous. That's how they'll make it seem. But it's pre-planned. They're just really good at making it seem like it's something that's just arisen in conversation. And they will even get you to think like it's your idea. And if they know you, keep in mind, they've been studying you. They know you very well. They're aware of your programs. They're aware of your buttons. They know your responses, which then allows them to map their manipulation. So you have to be one step ahead of this game and know what they're up to. And so stop doing what they expect you to do in conversations. Don't let them be your puppet master any longer. Think about the speech that they use. Don't jump into saying yes to anything in conversation, as they often will pressure people to sign up to something or help them or whatever they need. So do less talking, let them talk more. And throughout the conversation, really listen to what they're saying and ask yourself, what is this person wanting from me? What is this speech designed for? Because narcissists they want a lot of things. So things can change in every single conversation. It might be something different every single time, but it's always the same. It's always the narcissist trying to figure out how they can use you the best. And afterwards, analyze. And you're going to see quite clearly how they were trying to steer the conversation and you into the direction that they planned for it to go. And hopefully you didn't go there because you spoke less. You didn't respond as they thought that you would. And, from speaking less, you allowed them to talk more. And something that can really give them away is when they become frustrated, when you won't agree to do something that they want. And they get frustrated fast when they're pushing your button and nothing's coming out like it used to. And this angers them no end. And so be prepared to see the signs of the narcissistic rage. Golden rule number 3. Never ever forget that you're dealing with a very insecure person that's masquerading as a master and commander. It's easy to believe what they project, but the truth be known, internally, narcissists, especially covert narcissists in particular, are exceptionally insecure. And that is actually what produces so much aggression and rage. They desire definitely to be all-powerful and ruling the world like some kind of a Cruella de Vil man or woman, it doesn't matter. But the truth is they're plagued by their own dark thoughts. And the demons, they really tear the narcissist up internally. So they do it externally to others to make themselves feel better as a relief. They hate themselves really, but narcissists don't want you to know this. You're never ever supposed to suggest their insecurity. In fact, they will become incredibly angry and potentially dangerous if you do expose this. How dare you consider them insecure like everybody else? That's what human mortals feel. That's not an emotion that grandiose narcissists feel about themselves. That's what they think. But no, they're insecure. They are deeply insecure. And I know that their grandiose performance is incredibly convincing. But never ever forget, this isn't a strong person at all. No, this is a very weak person and a very, very weak character. And the narcissistic bully can crumble into dust with the slightest knock or challenge to their ego. Because look, the ego of a narcissist needs to be inflated. So it's made of air to begin with. Think of it like a balloon. If it's not refilled, it's going to deflate, and more importantly, is very vulnerable to being popped. And this is just like the narcissist and their grandiosity. It's extremely insecure and is reliant on the reinforcement of others in the way of narcissistic supply. This isn't a self-sufficient, strong or independent person. This is a dependent person that needs to entrap others, drain their life force, and will happily take any resources that they own into their own possession. But they can't get anywhere without others. They really do need you. Their lives depend upon it. So they convince you the opposite. They make it seem like it's you that needs them. They are masters of reverse psychology because they don't want you getting anywhere near the trail of sussing them out. The strength that they exhibit is again a hologram, but internally there's no strength to be found, because true strength, it comes from love and a belief in yourself, and actually comes from being attuned to the divine source of which we're connected, but not the narcissist. The narcissist's fuel is hate, envy, jealousy, and anger. They don't love themselves. There's no love present within the narcissist. There's only hatred. They're really fearful creatures, and they have a loathsome character, and that loathing is as well self-directed as it is externally. So don't believe the lie that they love themselves or think highly of themselves. But if you need and you want to get along with a narcissist without angering them, then never ever let them know that you know this fact. Because MPD is a compensatory disorder, and they are compensating for the things that they know that they lack. And I understood this very, very soon. And I made the mistake of trying to show more love, trying to actually direct my love to strengthen them internally. But it doesn't work. Your love will be the weapon that they forge against you, and they're going to cut you with it. So don't fall in that trap of thinking that you can help them. And don't feel sorry for them. Don't forget that even though they are deeply insecure, let's return to rule number 1. This isn't a human being as you know it. Don't project yourself and who and how you are onto a narcissist. Because narcissists, they don't want love. They hate love. They will destroy you for the love that you have or try to share with them. Don't see the narcissist as a powerful being, because that is the lie. You are the power. You have the power because you're of love and virtue, don't let them use your strength as their fuel. Don't let them fool you into believing that you are weak and they are strong, because that's a lie. Narcissists are built upon lies, upon lies, upon lies. And the only thing that can cut through deception and delusion is truth. Truth is your shield and love is your weapon. Knowing the truth, remembering the truth is going to save you and keep you safe. Narcissists cannot handle the truth. They run from the truth of who and what they are, and they try to cover their tracks as they go. But the truth exposes what they're made of. And once you know it, you must remember at all costs, this is not somebody that is going to change. So I really hope that this video has given you some helpful insights. And if you'd like to know more, then I've got some more great ones coming up. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Take care, sending love, and I will see you all again next week.